Hi, what's going on? My name is Anant, and in this video, we're going to learn how to train OpenAI on top of your business data so that OpenAI can talk like you, can share the information about your business. So to train your AI agent on top of your data, the very first thing you have to do is go to settings and integration, and when you reach there, when you click on that, you will go to this page where you have to click on something called as AI training campaign, which I am already on right now. If you look at this is the AI training campaign. So this is where we can create our training data, and there is a small guide on that as well on how you can create your training data. But don't worry, I'm gonna literally show you how to do this. I've already created a couple of training data. What it means here is that you can create multiple data set as well and treat them like an individual brain. So this, let's say X, and this is Y. These are two different brains which are trained on two different things, and these can be called at any point of time whenever you want, right? At any given scenario. Maybe the first brain can be trained only for the support, and the second brain can only be trained for the sales. Maybe the first brain can be trained on X brand, and the second brain can be trained on Y brand, right? So at any point, you can call the other brain and use their capabilities to answer to your customer queries. So let's see how we are going to do this. How are we going to create our very first brain? Now, the brain needs two different things. One is the instructions on how the brain is going to respond to any incoming message, any incoming query, right? So the first thing is we will give all of those instructions, and the second thing is the memory. What are we going to teach the brain about the business? There are two different things which we have to take care. So the first thing is giving instructions, and this is what we are doing here right now. We are not teaching anything about our business right now. We're giving instructions, and we are telling the brain that, hey, this is how you have to behave. This is who you are, and this is how you have to behave. You need to treat it like a child, where you tell them that, hey, you are, let's say, a support agent for our company called as WhatChimp, and your job is to help our customers with any of the query, any of the support query that they have. Make sure that you're replying to our customers only if they are asking questions related to our brand and nothing else. So you can literally restrict the AI model to not respond to any other query. I can add something like, hey, make sure you do not entertain any question that is outside WhatChimp's topic, something like that. But again, you have to really feed a good prompt for this to behave as you want. So if you want the AI to act like a human, to give shorter replies, then you have to really tell them that, hey, make sure all your replies are really small, right? And the best way, by the way, this is called a system prompt. And the best way to generate a system prompt is just go to AI itself and ask, what will be the best system prompt for my use case. You tell them about your business, what you're trying to do, how you want to respond to the customers, and then get a prompt and put it over here. So I'm just going to go by the default prompt, and I'm not at all changing anything over here. But make sure that you really work upon this, because this is going to make or break how your AI is really behaving, how the AI is really responding to your customers. Now, let's say I'm going to call this as test AI brain, and then I'm going to save this. Now here you see there are no training data, which means the AI agent definitely has the instruction on what it has to do, but it does not have any training data. It does not know anything about our company right now, any specific details about our company. So what we need to do is click on the plus button, and we need to start training the AI. And there are multiple ways to train the AI. One is content or FAQs, you can provide multiple frequently asked questions. And here you can, see some of the examples, right? So you can say, you can have a question and then and then have an answer to this. What are your business hours? And then you can have like, an answer as, we are available on Monday to Friday, something like that, right? So similar to this, you can create more FAQs. You can create as many frequently asked questions as you want, or you can just simply provide a long form of content as well. It's not just limited to, FAQ. You can provide, as it says, you can provide the summary as well. And here, the important notes, as you can read over here, it says providing a summary increases the precision and the richness of AI replies, but it incurs higher token usage. So the more data that you add, the more tokens are going to be used. I mean, that's absolutely what is going to happen when OpenAI is fed with more and more information. So just make sure that you keep your FAQs really crisp. I mean, here, if I'm feeding what is your business hour and I'm trying to add like literal jargons, which is, good day, we work, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff, it's just like overfeeding the AI. Just reply to the point, which is, we are available Monday to Friday and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and let the AI respond to your customer the way you have told the AI. You've already told the AI to be very polite, to be very respectful, or however, you want the AI to behave. So you do not have to, try to be respectful over here. You do not have to greet the customer on these answers. Just be very specific about your answer and be like to the point, so that the AI do not like start hallucinating when it's trying to answer to the queries. So that is one way, and I can just save over here. I can save my FAQ over here. Now the other ways are, you can also use URL, you can use a file. So if you have a doc, right, let's say you can create a Google Doc over here. You can write down all the instructions about your business. My business is this, blah, blah, blah. And then what you can do is go to file, download, and download it as a PDF. And then you can just upload this as a training data inside WhatChimp. So if I download this is right now empty. And then I'm going to take it here, and you can upload the file over here. Like this, right? And then you can then generate raw response or generate FAQ, which is not going to work out because right now the doc that we just uploaded is completely empty. So how am I going to have a description about the business? Give a short description about WhatChimp. Like I'm keeping a short description, but make sure the information is detailed. You're talking about your services, your working hours, and all that kind of stuff. Put it over here. Then just make sure you download this like a PDF, which I'm going to do right now. Come back, upload again. I'm going to upload the second one, and then you can generate raw response or generate FAQ. So I'm going to generate raw response, and you can see it was able to fetch everything from the document. WhatChimp is a meta verified, blah, blah, blah. Everything, it just, took it out from here. Or you can generate the FAQ as well. FAQ, it will create certain frequently asked questions for you. For example, what is WhatChimp? What feature does it provide? Is there any additional cost and all that kind of stuff? So basically, from your content itself, you are able to create all of these FAQs. The purpose of uploading a file is to generate either the FAQs or generate the raw responses and then save it and then feed it, right? So yeah, that is what we are doing over here. We have successfully uploaded a file. We have already added some content over here. The agenda with the URL over here is that we feed a URL so that our scraper can fetch the information from your website, right? So the moment you provide a URL, that single page is going to be scanned, and from there we are either going to generate a raw response or we are going to generate a FAQ. But please note, this is not going to scrape all your website links. This is only going to scrape the single URL that you are going to provide over here. So just to test this, we have a website. It's a salon website, and we're going to scrape this. We're trying to generate FAQs and some raw response out of this. And you have to make sure on whichever website you're testing this, whichever link you're testing this, do not prevent a bot from scraping the website. If you have an anti-bot crawler enabled, then the crawler from our end won't be able to scrape your website. So just make sure none of the anti-crawler detections are enabled on your website. Now, this website certainly doesn't have any of these enabled because it's a small business website, and all we are doing over here is, we enter the website, the main page of the website, and click on, you can either click on raw response or click on FAQ. So let's just generate the frequently asked questions, which again is coming from the raw response itself. So it's going to crawl, get the content, and out of the content itself is going to create some of the FAQ. So if you look at this website is based in San Francisco. You can see the working hours are mentioned, a small description, reviews, all these things are mentioned over here. The services are mentioned, about the team, it's mentioned over here. So basically it's going to go through all of that and it's going to fetch all these information, which you can see it's already done. Let's see. How can I book an appointment? So it has fetched the link. It also have fetched the number. Let's see if it's the correct number. You can see over here, it has fetched the exact number which was here. Then it's answering some of the common questions. It is also answering what are the operating hours of this salon. So you see over here, most of the common question has already been fetched from the website, and all I need to do is just approve if everything looks good or not, and just click on save. That's it. Now this AI agent is completely trained on this URL. If you want to feed more information, want to talk about your talents, your contact details and something else, just go and take that link, put it over here and train on top of that as well. So this way you can also train this on the URL as well, and then you get several other options, which is file, Google Sheet, and API. Now once you feel you have successfully trained the AI agent with enough information, we will now go to finally enabling the AI agent on our WhatsApp number and finally start testing it. So we have successfully created this. What I'm going to do over here is I'm going to delete the FAQs, because the FAQs in the file that we uploaded was about WhatChimp, not Cinta Salon. So the questions that we're going to ask is going to be mostly about the salon. So I'm just going to save this, keep it only and only about the salon, which I have fed the URL over here. And this campaign name is called as Test AI Brain, right? So remember this campaign name, this is the campaign which we are going to use when we enable AI. In fact, let me just rename this. I'm gonna name this as Cinta Salon, and we are going to call this as you are support agent for Cinta Salon, and update. That's it. So now this training data is something which we are going to use in the next video. All right, that's it for today. If you have any question about training the data, drop it down in the comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.